Hey everybody, welcome to the PixelBlips Podcast for February 17th, 2013. I'm Andy Ryan. I'm curious what Protovision is bringing out for the next generation, and joining me is the man who knows the only way to win the game is not to play, Dave DeWart. What haven't you been playing this week?
What haven't I been playing?
Yeah. Tic-tac-toe, thermonuclear war.
Haven't been playing a lot.
I may have watched War Games last night.
No, I have not been playing War Games.
Matthew Broderick.
There's a lot of games that I haven't been playing, but there's very few games that I have been playing.
Okay, what games have you been playing?
So we're trying to do the whole 4 in February
4 in
thing,
February,
where
which
you beat 4 games in the shortest month of the year.
Yes.
I have a whole bunch of games that I've started. I'm like 3 or 4 hours into. So I decided to.
So what you're saying is you're not good at finishing. How's that
I'm
work
good
for
at
your wife?
Anyway, so I had started Darksiders 2 over. Whenever I bought it, it was on sale on Steam, probably around October.
Before or after THQ died?
This was before.
Okay.
So I'd started it, and I kind of like stopped. So I picked it back up, and it took me about 20 minutes to remember all the little tricks and stuff. But I finally beat Darksiders 2 this morning. I actually did the last boss before I came here. And it was all right. There was a couple sections of the game that I didn't really care for. There's a whole part where Death basically gets a railgun, and you're running around just third-person shooting for 30 minutes. That was like the least fun part of that game for me.
Okay.
The story is pretty generic, though. You know, you have to save the world. So, I've also been playing, as part of my 4 in February, Uncharted Golden Abyss on the Vita. I thought I was almost done. Apparently, I was only like 40-something% done, because I got the little trophy that says you were 43% through with the game. I'm like, damn, this game is long. So I'm going to have to do that. I've also been playing a game on my phone.
I still stand by that's probably the best launch title
it is a pretty good game. I was actually surprised at how long it is for one, because I've been playing it for like 5 or 6 hours at this point. And you know, it's the voice acting is really good. It's a really, really beautiful game for the form factor. Like, it's a small, very pretty game, very well put together. There is some times where you're running around, you're trying to figure out how to get to the next ledge or whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of get stuck, but that's just part of those kinds of games.
Action game.
Yeah.
What do they call it? The character-driven action-adventure title.
Something like that.
It's like the most generic name ever.
Yeah, because everything is an adventure of some sort.
Yeah, and most things are character-driven. But
yeah. And I've also been playing a game on my phone and tablet. It's called Beastie Bay. It's brought out by Cariosoft. I think I'm saying that right. It's a Japanese development house. It's basically Civilization and Pokemon.
Pokemons?
Yeah, and you build up your little town and you collect your monsters.
My Greeks, let me show you them.
Yeah, something like that. And you find new people to join your town. You have to attract tourists to your island and things like that. It's kind of neat. They have a few other games like Game Dev Story I purchased like 2 years ago, and it's a lot of fun. So you know, it's a nice little time sink. There's it's on Android. I don't know if it's on iOS. Sorry, I don't have an iPhone. I know, blasphemy. I don't have an iPhone.
I don't have an iPhone either.
Yeah, but you don't even have an Android phone.
Yeah, my phone's from 2005-ish.
But yeah, so there's a free version. It's got some ads. It's they're at the bottom of the screen. It's not really a big nuisance. There's also like a $5 version, which that's kind of a lot for a phone game for me. Like, that seems like that's on the high end of what I would pay.
Isn't that amazing that we've like worked out that economy? That we're like, $5 is a high end for a game, whereas like the flip side is
on a PC or like a full console game, it's 60 or 40 depending on what you're buying it for. I don't know. I think $5 is okay depending on the game. Like for this, which is basically little 16-bit sprites doing stuff, I would say like $3 would probably be fine. I think I paid like $2 for Game Dev Story when I bought it. But really, all you get in the paid version of Beastie Bay is it gets rid of the ads. And you can use it in landscape mode. And those are the two things that I can see. But I could see landscape mode being a big thing because you have this much of your screen when it's in portrait mode, and you have this much of your screen when it's in landscape mode. So as far as like horizontal.
So you're saying you're this big?
Something like that. Well, I'll just whatever. So what have you been
You can't be on YouTube if you do that. Anyway, yes, I've been playing a lot, once again, for the 4 in February.
Yeah.
I've been messing around a lot on my Vita, but I haven't really played anything new. Like I haven't like dug into anything on my Vita. I've just been kind of, you jump in, you mess around for a little bit. But one of the things I have been playing a lot of was Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault.
Oh, okay.
Which is the tower defense Ratchet & Clank game.
It's more like Dungeon Defenders than like a top-down tower defense game.
Yeah. And it's PS3, which is where I'm playing it, and it will be eventually for the Vita.
Whenever they get around to releasing that version.
Yeah, whenever they get done with that version. I think part of it is Sony hired an outside studio to finish that, to make the Vita version.
Yes.
So it's not Insomniac. And from what I've heard, the version that the outside studio made is not meeting Insomniac's pretty high standards.
Yeah, okay.
For what is their flagship title. And, you know, Resistance is big, and Fuse will probably be a pretty big splash as well. But Insomniac, I usually think Ratchet and Clank, more so than Spyro. So they're pretty defensive of him.
Yeah.
Of them. And so I've been playing it, and since it is not, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maps. I think 5 maps. And one of them is a variation. So there's like, you get one
so
map.
So you get one version of it, and then they've changed like 3 things.
Yeah, one map, you play it, and then later on it becomes like a snow level.
Oh, okay. So it's not even really a change to the way the game plays. It's just a cosmetic thing.
Well, yeah, but cosmetic thing, and like certain parts are frozen, certain parts you can't get on, certain parts are slippery, things like that.
So there is a little bit of a
So
differentiation.
I would say there's probably 4 unique environments.
Okay.
But it's really fun, and it does a great job of tapping into that gamer completionist chromosome.
Oh man.
With the weapons upgrade in real time as you use them. And so I went through and played it all the way through, beat it, and then went through and played it all the way through again.
Just to get all your
just to get everything
upgraded.
upgraded. And once everything's upgraded, it's all so fun to use and everything. My only complaint about Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault is the Rhino isn't in it. And if you're a fan of Ratchet & Clank, you know the Rhino, R-Y-N-O, is a very popular. It's usually like the last gun you get.
It's the big BFG gun at the very end of the game that you would use.
It stands for Rip You a New One. And you know, you start playing it and the music drops out and then comes back as the 1812 Overture. You know, da 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 da. So it's when that didn't show up in the game, I was disappointed just because I'm a Ratchet & Clank fan.
And you love that gun.
I love that gun. So then I went on and I played Ratchet & Clank All for One, which is the 4-person beat 'em up type co-op game. And I thought it was okay. I thought it was as much a Ratchet title as it could have been.
Given that it's a 4-player co-op game.
Yeah, and the guns don't automatically upgrade. You know, certain things we've taken for granted. But the story was definitely fun. I really liked the story.
What I played of it, it was pretty funny. I liked it. I just couldn't get the wife to sit and play with me for more than a couple hours at a time. So.
Yeah, no, I played all the way through in about a day and a half.
It's not very long.
Well, of constant play. So I would say it's probably 8 hours, 6 hours maybe.
But we didn't pay anything for it.
Yeah,
at least I didn't.
It was free on PlayStation Plus. It's kind of up there. Since I'm a Ratchet & Clank fan, I might, if later on down the line, when it's on eBay for $2, I might buy it just to have it in my collection.
Just to have a physical copy of that game.
Yeah, so it was good. I feel like I'm going to go back to Full Frontal Assault a lot more than I'll be going back to All for One.
Well, tower defense games always kind of have that draw.
There's a replayability.
Yeah,
and Ratchet & Clank games have always kind of had that with finding the gold bolts and upgrading your weapons and stuff like that. And then for All for One to not have any of that.
No, because you're playing a 4-player co-op game, so it's like it would be hard for them to implement. Hey, now all 4 of you guys need to go back to this level and find all the gold bolts. And
if you took
like you need 4 people, like in Little Big Planet, you need 2 people to do certain puzzles.
If you took a Ratchet & Clank game and melded it with, like, let's say New Super Mario Brothers Wii, which is the other like 4-person competitive co-op type game that I can think of, and you smushed them together in a blender, this is probably the best game that would have come out of that design document.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's not great. I'm still playing Ni no Kuni.
How far are you now? Like, how many hours do you think you've clocked?
25-ish.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I
just got the dragon.
I love long games.
If you know anything about Ni no Kuni, if you've watched any of the trailers or anything, there's a purple dragon that you ride around on, and I just got it.
It's your replacement for the airship, right?
Yeah. Well, you don't get an airship.
Well, from other games.
Yeah.
You get like a plane or an airship.
I mean, there are, but that's the point. There are airships in the world. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's continues to be super fun, really addicting.
I'm looking forward to getting it. I need
so whimsical. Oh, so whimsical.
Yeah. I liked the demo. I played through the demo a few times, and I liked the way the game feels. I've got so much of a backlog I want to get rid of, and maybe I can con somebody into getting it.
Well, that's why I haven't gotten Dead Space. I'm probably gonna wait a while to get Dead Space 3. I think the next game I'm going to buy will probably be God of War Ascension.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm probably not going to touch another game.
Just
I'm not going to buy any new games unless it comes on sale on Steam until March.
One of my controllers, during this marathon game session, I realized between Ratchet & Clank Full Frontal Assault and All for One, I realized that one of my PlayStation controllers, my DualShock that I've had forever, the battery is going quietly into that great night.
Oh no!
It holds a charge for about 2 hours, hour and a half ish.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I'm in the market for a new PlayStation 3 controller, and I'll probably buy one of the ones that comes with a game. Mm-hmm. And in which case, I'll probably buy the Ratchet & Clank collection.
And that comes with which games?
Ratchet & Clank, Going Commando, and Up Your Arsenal.
Okay.
And apparently, since Full Frontal Assault is taking so long to come out on the Vita, Insomniac is giving away Ratchet & Clank Dreadlocked for free.
Oh, cool.
Which is the is the fourth Ratchet title.
Interesting.
So, the last one on the PS2.
Is that going to be a PlayStation Plus thing? Or
no, that's going to be if you bought Ratchet & Clank
Full
Frontal Assault.
Okay.
Since it's cross-buy enabled, they already know that you have it. They will give you this copy for free.
And it'll run on your PS3 and your Vita?
I think it's just your PS3.
Oh, that's okay though. I mean,
I kind of think that all of those HD collections should be made Vita compatible.
That would be nice.
Whether through really remote play or some voodoo, I think I would really enjoy if I could jump in and play a game of Sly on my Vita, and I didn't need to buy the new Sly.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I've been
thinking
thinking
they're cooking something. They have some other larger priority at the moment. So
yeah, I don't know what that is yet, though. I mean, we have all kinds of crazy ideas.
Have you been watching their the evolution of PlayStation?
Yeah,
videos?
I watched the first one a couple days ago.
Get hyped.
Yeah, where they're playing the music in the background and they're talking about the history of the different consoles.
History of the PlayStation.
I watched the PS2 one last night before I went to bed, and I saw that, and I'm like, this is totally a console launch. They're totally going to announce this thing on Wednesday.
I feel like the PlayStation brand is at the point right now where the Nintendo brand was during the N64.
Yeah, that feels right.
They have their stable of characters that people love, that their fans love, and that maybe a wider audience hasn't really gravitated towards as much.
Yeah, I can see that.
And they're coming off a console that was not their greatest success.
But to be fair, I mean, neither console. I mean, yes, the 360 is sold a lot, and it was ahead for a very long time. But the PS3 has it caught up worldwide?
Yeah, it's caught up worldwide.
Okay.
But it's not anywhere near the Wii sales. I mean, it didn't. And also, it didn't light the world on fire, one, like people expected it to, and two, like its predecessor did.
Well, because it was expensive as hell when it first came out.
And I think coming off the N64, Nintendo was like, okay, well, how do we get back to the Super Nintendo days?
Yeah.
And they made the wrong choice and went to the GameCube, and I think Sony is cognizant of that. That, hey, we're at this impasse, we can make Ratchet & Clank and Crash Bandicoot and Nathan Drake and the Hellgast. We can make them our Link and Zelda and Mario and Kirby and stuff. We can do that, but we need to knock this next one out of the park in a spectacular fashion. And I think these evolution of the PlayStation videos,
and it's just getting it's
they know who they're talking to.
Starting the hype train for the people, for us in general, because we've been looking for the next gen for about a year now. Like, we've been hearing rumors for at least a year. So it's kind of nice to see that, Sony's like,
and new hardware is always exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's
even
always
the Wii
exciting
U was exciting, even though it hasn't continued that momentum.
It's not doing what Nintendo had hoped it would do. I
mean, have you noticed that Nintendo has a Nintendo Direct the same day or the day before really bad news comes out about Nintendo?
Yeah, I kind of saw that.
Yeah, I thought it was like the next time Nintendo does a Nintendo Direct, I'm going to okay.
I think they do one every couple of weeks now.
I was like, I'm going to watch the Nintendo Direct, and then I'm going to put on my Crash helmet.
Because that's what's going to happen.
I'm going to get the good news, and then something bad's going to happen.
We're going to have bad times.
Because, the Wii U Direct, they came out, and they were like, here, we're going to do this Mario Kart's going to be at E3, we're going to do all this other stuff for the Wii U, and then 2 days later, they slashed their sales forecast.
Yeah.
And then a couple days ago, they came out and they said, okay, well, here's our 3DS stuff, here's some more Wii U stuff.
Yeah.
And then that day it came out, they were like, they only sold 55 or 57 something. Less than 60. We'll say this: less than 60,000 units in January, If the PlayStation Vita, which no one would argue
is not
selling well, especially for a portable, if the PlayStation Vita is nipping at your heels in terms of
something
sales,
may be wrong.
Yeah,
but they still. I mean, they still have. They know what their strong market is right now. They know that the 3DS is what is doing it. For them.
Well, they know
bankrolling them.
They know to talk to the faithful.
Yeah,
and I think Sony has learned that as well.
Yeah.
And for any of you worried about the Wii U sales and how horrible everything is, Nintendo got by with the GameCube, which only had like 20 million, less than 25 million in sales, and they were just coming off of the Nintendo 64, which had only slightly better lifetime sales. So don't worry.
Yeah, Nintendo will figure out a way. I mean, their business model prior to this console was whatever they sold made them money. Like they were making money off of sales.
They've tried this new business model and they're not succeeding at it. But I don't think it's the business model's fault, and I don't think it's the hardware's fault. I think it's Nintendo's fault as a company not being able to market it, tell people why they want it, not being able to get third parties on board, and not being able to get the first-party software out there at a good enough clip that it ends up selling the console, irregardless of marketing or third parties.
I think that's one of the larger problems they have is that their first-party titles, like their Zeldas and their new Marios and things like that, are not coming out fast enough. Like they should have, in my opinion, they should have had a Zelda ready to go for this system within 3 months of it coming out. And technically, we're still within that 3-month period. It didn't come out at the end of November.
But let's not get sidetracked and let's not get bogged down in Nintendo fanboy war. What I'm going to say is, the GameCube only sold, once again, less than 30 million units in its lifetime, was a failure by most margins, and it still had Wind Waker.
Yeah,
and it still had Metroid Prime, and do not expect me to say anything good about Mario Sunshine, because I won't. But it had Mario Party, it had the best Mario Party, it had the best Smash Brothers. So if you're a Nintendo faithful, this is not the time to worry.
No.
So don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about Nintendo though. They'll figure out a way. They're not going to close up shop and stop making consoles and games and stuff.
No, because the 3DS is selling.
Yeah, the 3DS is selling. So even if they stop making home consoles, they'll probably still make portable consoles forever.
And they're not like Sony. There is no business decision that makes sense at Nintendo to get out of console and to get out of game making because they have nothing else. So they're going to ride that pony until it's into the ground. Currently, they're riding it into the ground, but I don't think it's going to be this time.
No, they'll be all right. They'll figure out a way. Once some big name titles come out, once some third parties get on and actually start developing stuff that utilizes the hardware.
The PS4 comes out, the Xbox comes out, and Nintendo's back in the GameCube ghetto. They're back in the GameCube ghetto. They still have their faithful. It's kind of like PC gaming, hardcore PC gaming. There's about ifs and its, there's about 5 million. There's a 5 million audience for hardcore high-end PC gaming. I would say there's about a 20 million hardcore audience for Nintendo gaming.
Yeah, I mean, even though the Wii U sold like 100 million or 90-something million, the Wii sold. That's the other problem with this. They should have named it something else because people.
I feel like we're getting bogged down in this, and I don't want to.
I know. You don't want to get bogged down in this.
I want to be optimistic. So go. Say your final thing. I don't want to cut you off.
So even though, you said there's 25 million-ish people that will buy a new system from Nintendo, and they're the hardcore Nintendo fans.
Yeah.
The Wii sold 100 million units because it was so accessible to people who don't play video games. They just need to figure out how to make this system like that.
Which I don't think this system is that.
And it can't be. With that big ass controller.
It's not built. It's not built the same way. They might have to figure out a way to sustain themselves off of $25 million audience.
They will.
And I hope they do get it, because one of the ways the GameCube was sustained was with the Game Boy Advance player.
Yeah.
Basically marrying their two video game markets, the Game Boy and the portable in the home.
So that would be cool to see if they do something like that.
Yeah, if a DS player came out, I would buy a Wii U.
Like a USB attachment?
Yeah,
just plug your
DS game in it, like this is your bottom screen, that's your top screen. I would do that.
So save yourself, Nintendo, do that.
Yes. Anyway, so Nintendo doing a great job of speaking to their faithful, maybe feel like they're under attack a little bit now. Sony, however, is they're like, we understand the 20th of February, it's the coming out party. We're going to speak to the world.
Yeah.
But right now, we're going to get the PlayStation faithful, as I like to call the PlayStation Nation. We're going to get them hyped. And we're going to do this by reminding them of all the great things that we've already done.
Yeah. And you know, when you think about it, with the PS1 and the PS2, there were just tons of really great games on those. Yeah. That's where you got... Crash isn't around it that much anymore, but you got Crash Bandicoot. You got Ratchet and Clank,
Spyro.
Jak and Daxter, Spyro. You got
Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy
titles.
VII.
Yeah, all those, like they
Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider is still, for all intents and purposes,
A viable IP.
Well, yeah, but people think of it.
When they think of the original PlayStation, you always think of the first Tomb Raider.
They think of Tomb Raider.
Front, so.
Which is one of the strange reasons that I find the Xbox, Microsoft is pimping the new Tomb Raider. Mm-hmm. It's like better on, or they don't say better with Kinect, but they're like on Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're also like, they're not doing that for the new Metal Gear Solid. The new Metal Gear Solid is, they do the commercial and they're like on PlayStation 3 with Xbox 360. Yeah. And I think there's probably a disconnect in people's mind when it comes up and they're like, oh, that's on Xbox. That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird because, you know, Metal Gear was, you know, Sony's baby for, what, 2 generations? Yeah. In the beginning of 3. Metal Gear Solid 4 never came out on the Xbox.
Metal Gear Solid 4 never came out on the Xbox.
So this is the second one? The second Metal Gear game to come out on the Xbox, or is this the first one?
I think it's the first one.
Okay.
I mean,
anyway.
Would the HD collection come out on Xbox?
Maybe.
It might have.
Anyway.
I mean, the subsistence and the...
You have all these titles that you could relate from back in the day when you...
Ape Escape.
Yeah, back in the day when you had your PS1. And I still have... I think I still have my original PS1.
I don't have my original PS1. I had to dig a new one out of a dumpster.
Oh well.
But I nursed it back to health.
That's okay.
But so Sony's going back, and in these interim, as we're building up hype for this thing, this PlayStation 4, they're releasing once a day. They're like, hey, remember these PS1 memories? Remember these PS2 memories? I'm sure today is going to be the PSP. Tomorrow will probably be the PS3, then the Vita, and then we'll be like, oh, PlayStation 4 is on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So they're getting the faithful hyped. Yes. And one of the great things about getting people hyped is that hype only grows until it doesn't.
Until it stops.
So Sony's building this hype, and eventually at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, it's like 5 o'clock Central.
Yeah, 5 o'clock our time, 6 p.m. Eastern, February 20th, they're going to announce this PlayStation 4 box. And we're going to know what it is.
Well, we think that's what they're going to announce. We have no definitive proof, but we can infer from all the stuff that's going on that they're going to announce it.
And I said this last time.
It smells like a console release.
It like the time before, last time or the time before, I said like, if this isn't for the PlayStation 4, this is the biggest Sony shitting the bed that has ever happened.
Like, they're going to announce the Vita 2.
Yes, Electric Boogaloo.
That's right.
Hot pink. Dayglow colors. Ooh.
Bright green.
It's going to have that little, you remember the thing in the 80s where like your snow gloves had it and it would get cold and it would change colors?
Yeah, it would be like that.
It would be that. No, so this is, once we know what the PlayStation 4 is, once it is a known quantity, because I think we're going to see the controller. I think we're going to, well, we'll probably see the controller. I said probably. We'll probably see the controller. We'll definitely see the box that it comes in.
We'll see a mock-up of a box.
Yeah. So like the shell of it. Maybe not. We're not going to get like that's the final version, but we'll see the shell of it.
And we might hear some technical specs. I think if you're into that kind of stuff.
There will be. I think there will be a PowerPoint presentation where it's like the gigahertz processor is this, video processor is this. This is the RAM.
Has big hard drives. Got Blu-ray drive.
This is the Wi-Fi card, Ethernet. This is all. We'll definitely get one of those, and we'll get some. Well, I think we'll get more than a sizzle reel.
We might actually get some like launch title-y names.
I think we'll get launch title-y names, and I think we'll get that big board that the platform the platform owners love, where it's like, look at all these developer logos. All of these guys will maybe work on our system.
Every developer ever, including the now gone THQ.
Protovision.
Ocean's gonna make games for the PS4.
Ocean. Ultimate play the game? No. Anyway, so I think we'll get that. I think we'll get, there'll probably be some media announcements. I think they'll probably be like, hey, we'll do Netflix, it'll do this, it'll do that.
Which the PS3 already does for the most part.
Yeah,
so.
Because they're not just talking to us, the gamer. This is the PlayStation Nation. This is the enthusiast press. Yeah. This is the normal press. This is
well, and it's funny.
And this is investors. This is everybody that would be paying attention to this.
So so it's not just the weird hardcore gamer guys like us that are watching this. It's this is your mom sitting on the couch.
Yeah, it'll probably show up.
You'll see it on the nightly news.
If it's really big, it'll be on nightly news.
It'll be on the nightly news, and your mom will see it and go, "Oh, what's this PlayStation 4?" And then you'll have to sit and explain to her. And it's like, well, it does all the stuff.
Yeah, I think the only thing we're not going to get a price.
We're not going to get a price for sure.
We're not going to get what I would consider a solid launch lineup.
No.
What we'll get is like, wouldn't it be great if this game was on it and this game? And, here's what Metal Gear Solid would look like.
Here's what GTA 5 would look like.
We got when the Vita premiered, we had a demo of the Vita running Metal Gear Solid 4.
Was it 4? Yeah,
I think it was 4. Which I was immediately like, I'm sold. I'm done.
Well, you were going to buy it anyway.
Yeah. So
no matter if it was running Katamari on it.
Yeah, before we get the wild speculation, 5 titles.
5 titles?
Give me a list of 5 titles that would make it a day one purchase. If the PlayStation 4 came out tomorrow with these 5 titles, you would go out and cough your money up to it.
I would have to cough up like $800 or $600, but 5 titles?
Yeah. Shit. Okay, well I'll go first because I already have mine.
Yeah, I know you do.
Okay, so Killzone 4.
Well, yeah, okay, that's obviously I'm pretty sure that's going to be a launch title.
Well, yes, Killzone 4. If they come out and they say Killzone 4, because Killzone 4 is the first-person shooter that's always felt right to me because it's kind of slower and more methodical, and it always looks amazing. It always looks wonderful.
It looks really good on the PS3.
Uncharted 4. You give me more Uncharted,
you're in.
Boom, I'm there. Resistance 4.
Lots of 4s. I don't know why.
If I'm saying, like, Sony, like, you have a lot of series that have stopped at 3, 4 would be great.
Why not turn them up to 4 here?
New Ratchet and Clank game. If I can't get a Resistance game, new Ratchet and Clank game. And Final Fantasy 15. Whether that be Final Fantasy Versus, now known as 15, or this is what Final Fantasy 15 will be.
And it was like that tech demo that we saw.
Yeah. So those 5 titles, I would be like, I am on board, Sony. Take my money.
I would like to see. I know I would like to see a God of War 4. We know that Ascension's coming out in March, right?
Yep.
Like 3 weeks away. I would like to see God of War 4. I don't know how they're going to make the story progress, but that's what the writers are for. So there's another 4 for you.
Yeah.
4.
4.
Yeah, Hot Shots Golf 4.
Hot Shots Golf. Hey, Hot Shots Golf sells.
It does. It sells. I would like to see a new Final Fantasy, so like a Final Fantasy 15. But I would like it to not be like 13.
Okay.
If we can handle that.
Well, we're just saying, give me the names. Give me a quick list.
Quick list, man. Honestly, I don't.
Ridge Racer? Ooh, Wipeout. I would
a new Wipeout or a new Ridge Racer would be kind of awesome.
Yeah, new Wipeout. In
Wipeout.
Whatever it's going to be, 1080p, 4K, blah,
4K Wipeout. Moving at 120
Melt my eyeballs.
My eyes are bleeding from the pretty pixels. I would like to see, and then maybe it's just me, I like the Darksiders games.
Okay, Darksiders.
I would like to see a Darksiders 3.
Ooh, Saints Row the 4th.
But see, THQ is dead right now, and all their IPs
Someone
are
has
scattered.
the IP to Saints Row.
Well, somebody bought Vigil Games, but I don't know if they got the IP with them or not.
Okay, so we were...
So yeah, a new Saints Row game would be kind of awesome. There was some technical limitations with the PS3.
Is that your 5th game?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
I would like to see Grand Theft Auto 5 on there. But I doubt that.
So we can have like a console-to-console comparison?
Yeah,
like,
so we could see here's the PS3
5.
version versus the PS4 version. Since it's coming out in September, that would be kind of a neat thing, but I have a feeling that would be a really bad idea for Rockstar just to release a game in September only for some people to have to buy it again in
Well, it's the problem with
November.
Like Madden. Like, you know that Madden's probably going to be a launch title for PS4.
Madden, there will be a Madden for the PS4.
But that'll be the one where we're like, this is the PS4 version, this is the PS3 version, here's the difference, parents. So let's continue with the wild speculation. I would... See, well, if I could add anything to the PS4, I would add, you put in a PlayStation 3 disc or PlayStation 2 discs, it reads it, shoots that information to the cloud, and then...
Wait, they've already patented that technology.
They've patented that. They have it. We know they can do it. So it shoots that information to the cloud, it reads the disc out of your drive, shoots it to the cloud, processes it on PS2,
their server,
PS3
and then
server,
brings it back.
And then brings it back to you so that all your old games that you actually have
still work.
Are now backwards compatible. And you no longer have to wait for us to put it on the store. You just have to be connected to the internet.
Yeah.
And since this morning I signed up for Google Gigabit Fiber.
Yeah, screw you, hippie.
Yeah. Dave's not. I'm getting it. Dave's not. I'm getting it. Dave's not. I'm getting it.
It's going to be like
Dave's
2015.
Not.
Before
Dave's not. I'm getting it. It's supposed to be by the end of the summer, as they say.
That's what they said.
Yeah, that's what they say. They're Google. I trust them.
Well, I don't know. There's some questionable Google searches out there.
Anywho, so what's another crazy thing for you? Like if you could use all your controllers, they're all Bluetooth compatible already.
I would like to use the Vita, sort of, because it's kind of comfortable to use for long periods of time. I would like to use it as a controller for all my games.
Oh, yeah.
Not just for certain cross-play.
So like it could be like a Wii U thing.
Yeah, it'd be like a Wii U controller. Or you could, like you needed to get up and let your dogs out and you just kind of sit on the patio.
Or take a poo.
Or, yeah, go to the bathroom, whatever.
Take a poo.
Or if you wanted to sit in your bed and take a poo.
Take a poo.
If you want to sit in your bed and play bed, you could do that. You could play your PS4 games on your Vita. And I don't see a reason why that wouldn't work unless your wireless sucks. Now, maybe your wireless does suck, and maybe there's just a viable limit to how far you can send whatever resolution the Vita screen is. But if Nintendo can do it, I'm sure as hell Sony can pull it off.
Yeah.
So cool. I would love to see something like that.
I just want to turn on Dreams and Starlight.
The PS4 powered by unicorns and rainbows.
Like you pop open the hood and there's just unicorns on treadmills.
Little teeny tiny unicorns on treadmills.
Like a little Kaz Hirai doll. Hi.
Oh man. Oh, those are good.
on Dreams and Starlight.
No. I have. So speaking of other Sony.
I'm just saying, like, there's just like, because face it, Wednesday at 9 o'clock or whenever the press conference is over.
Yeah, like
it'll be concrete. It won't do things.
We'll know what it is slated to do out of the box.
Yeah. So after this thing, like maybe at the end of that press conference, it won't have that read the discs, send it to the cloud, and come back to you.
Remote play, or not remote play, but like
remote backwards compatibility.
Yeah, which it's kind of weird. Like just thinking about how that works is like, man, that would suck if your internet was terrible. If you were on like DSL.
So maybe it won't have that. Maybe it won't have. You won't be able to use your Move controller with it. So, or you won't be able to use your older controllers with it, or all these other things.
I don't see why you wouldn't be able to use your old PS4.
Wildly speculative.
Well, okay, so we saw
because it's no offense. Like I said, hype builds until it doesn't. And at the end of that press conference, there will be things that they didn't talk about, that they didn't mention, games they didn't show,
stuff they're saving for E3.
Yeah, but there will be doubt. The minute
there
we know what it looks like, the minute we know what it looks like, we know what will fall in its shadow and what will be forgotten.
Yeah.
So let's have fun. Let's as gamers, let's embrace this moment.
I want it to be a transformer.
Like I remember before the Wii U came out, I was thinking like, wouldn't it be great if? Yeah. And then the Wii U came out, and I was like, well, I was wrong. It would not. It turns out that wouldn't be great.
No, not so much.
So this is that moment. Let's grab life by the horns. Go for that brass ring.
I would like it to make me breakfast every day. It needs to be a transformer. It turns into a 3-foot-tall robot and makes me breakfast.
On top of the unicorns inside of it will make me waffles.
Yes, it will.
And continually quote 80s movies.
All day. All day.
You know what? That's the one thing. I want the form factor of it. I want the form factor of it to be the warp from the big giant computer that's like the size of a golf cart from War Games. Like it is actually a piece of furniture. Ha 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 ha. Like that's how we figured out to get past overheating. Just make it giant.
Yeah, make it huge and put a box fan on the side. 120 millimeter? No. I need a 300 millimeter fan. Yeah, no. Anyway.
Like I 3 terabyte hard drive. It's not going to have a 3 terabyte hard drive.
No, but it could probably, minimum, it would have to have at least a 50 or 500 gig hard drive.
Yeah.
Like, since that's what the top end models of the PS3 come out with. And really, 1 terabyte hard drive at the store is like $80.
Yeah.
So it would probably cost them nothing to put 500 gig hard drives in all their PS4s.
I was watching some old PlayStation press conferences because all the websites are doing like this big ramp up, and they're like, the ramp up. Remember the ramp up for the PS3? And I was watching. And they showed PowerPoint slides of the old store, the old PlayStation store.
Oh.
And like not just the one that we all remember, the one that I remember back from launch.
The launch store that was just
it was just horrible. And
terrible.
like to me, I'm like, like you know what I'd really want? I want a store that functions. And we haven't had one of those ever.
Yeah.
Like, even stores in real life don't have great function. You have to walk into them, you have to go to them, you have to walk into them, you have to search around for the crap you want, look through the shelves. Yeah. Like, I just want a store that just knows.
You walk in and it's like, you're looking for this, and it throws it in your face.
Based on the fact that you watched, Van Dread, and that you're a fan of Ratchet and Clank, here's Jak and Daxter. Like, that's just...
Go.
Like, that's... It
so
runs
you want
quickly.
predictive stores?
Yeah, runs quickly,
Have you
works
ever seen Google
great.
Ads?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know, but runs quickly, works great, easily searchable.
Yeah.
Things that at this point in humanity's evolution should be a duh.
First world problems you want solved?
Yes. I can't find my app on the iTunes store.
I'm so sad.
So it's things like that.
Yeah.
There's things like that. As we're talking about unicorns that make you waffles, there's actual like very down to earth. Please do this, Sony.
Yeah. I would like to see them if they're going to continue doing Move stuff. Now we've seen the leaked picture of the controller that has like the little Move bar on the top.
Yeah, it looks a little bit wider.
It looks like a third party, like a Logitech controller.
Well, yeah, but it's a prototype.
It's a prototype, but I don't think it's going to look that much different. But it does have a little strip on the top that supposedly changes color, much like the Move balls did. I'd like them to have a higher resolution camera for that, because the camera was just god awful.
The PlayStation Eye's camera is not great.
And it would be nice to use that for,
maybe a dual lens one, like connect so it can see depth.
Yeah, a little bit better on the ball. I mean, it can kind of measure the distance of the ball versus the size of it or whatever.
The scale, yeah.
But I would like to see like more Move integration into games and more meaningful Move integration. And connect like voice commands would be kind of nice. Where you're sitting on your couch and you're like, what was that movie? And you say,
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, Matthew Broderick, and it goes boom, and it finds all the Matthew Broderick movies on the store that you can download or rent for the day. Or
that's the one thing Sony can do.
Things like that, that would be
overall
cool.
is for the next generation's licensing.
I mean, I don't really
since I have War Games on the mind this morning, if I buy War Games, I should be able to watch War Games on my PS3 and my Vita.
Instead of having to download them separately?
Yeah, and pay for them separately. Let's work on that, Sony.
Yeah, that is kind of goofy. Like that's kind of along the lines of the whole Nintendo eShop with their if you've already purchased all the games on the Wii, you have to rebuy them on the Wii.
And since it's the PS3, it's even more in stark contrast, because if I buy Final Fantasy VI,
you can
PS1 Classic, I can't play it everywhere.
PS3, and you can also put
everywhere
it
that it will work. I can play it.
It does, and I would like to see.
If I rent War Games and I have to get up to Kapoo, I should be able to take my Vita with me and continue watching.
You just pause it, switch to your Vita. Yeah, much like the Wii.
Because who wants to give up Matthew Broderick, especially when you're going to take a poo?
Especially when you got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yep. Dropping deuces. Again, I would like to see
thermonuclear war.
More Vita functionality built into this next system. I want to feel like I didn't get a Vita for me to play like 5 games on it. I would like to be able to control my PS4 with it.
Yeah.
I would like to, remote play full PS4 games, or at least PS2 or PS3 games that you can download and put on your PS4. I would like to be able to do that on my Vita through the PS4, on my Wi-Fi. So if I sit in my office and I'm playing a game, I don't have to move my box in there and play it on the TV I got in there.
I'd like a web browser that
functions.
Yes.
A functioning web browser clicks, even though surfing the web on your TV with a controller is very difficult.
Yeah, it's not even the best thing. But like if I had the Vita open, I could just
tap it and use.
And let's
the
say
keyboard
it's like the Wii U. Like I'm looking down here. I find I'm on IGN. They're talking about Ratchet and Clank.
You go to the comment section.
I flip through. I hit Ratchet and Clank. It brings up a window like, do you want to go to the PlayStation Store and search this on the PlayStation Store? Boom, I open up Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation Store and I'm downloading it. Like, just make it easy for me, Sony. Make it easy for me. Make it easy for me to share stuff.
Yeah, well,
like I'm a member of Raptor, which you're not, but you should be.
I don't want to.
So should you. So like, if I earn trophies and I want to share that information, make it easy for me.
Comes up on my Facebook thing. I'm good.
Well, yeah, but like, integrate my PlayStation identity with my Music Unlimited identity.
Yeah.
So like if I only listen to
video game soundtracks.
Yeah, Chiptopia by 8-Bit Weapon and David Bowie's greatest hits, that when I throw in that Tony Hawk 48, whatever it's going to be, it just pipes in my Music Unlimited sound. Like, this is what he's going to like anyway, just go.
Here, go. That's another thing. I would like custom soundtracks in games.
Well, that's
in all games.
There we go.
In all games, not the ones that it's specifically coded for.
Yeah.
And you can do kind of cross-party voice chat if it's made for that specific game. I would like to see that also.
Better voice chat.
Better voice chat over that. And they've also said, it's going to have the video editing where you can replay the last 15 minutes of your thing and you can kind of edit it and share it. That's kind of cool. But at the same time, it's like, what if you want to show off like a 35 or a 40-minute section of your game? Mm-hmm. Like, how much hard drive space are they going to allow you to dedicate to that?
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, this is it. This is wild speculation because there's a lot of stuff like since the PS3's come out. There's especially in the online networked devices space. There's been a lot of advancements since 2006.
There's a lot of stuff coming out.
There's a lot of stuff where like the PS3 is just not built to do it.
Well, yeah,
and so now we want the PS4s coming out. You should be building it so that I can cross-party chat. You should be building it so that I can download everything in the background.
Downloading stuff in the background would be nice instead of having it patch stuff and download all the patches when it downloads it initially. Like if there are patches, because that's always really irritating.
Yes.
When you download a game and it's like, oh hey, wait, you got a patch.
So do stuff like that. So like integrate it. Make
it easier for us. Make it so that all I got to do is turn it on and go to my game. I don't have to go through like 800 menus. Well, I don't have to go through that many anyway.
Make it so that
for finding stuff on the store, downloading games. Like I want to download a game, and as soon as it's done, I want to be able to play it. Mm-hmm. Like yes, there might be like a couple of minutes for it to install. Yeah. But once it's done installing,
I don't mind. A lot of people complain that you have to like jump out of whatever you're doing and then hit install. I don't mind that. I don't mind that I have to tell it to install and then wait while it installs. I'm cool with that. I'm not cool with the patching.
Yeah, I would like it to, like if I've pre-purchased a game, I don't know if it does this because I've not pre-purchased games on the store. If you pre-purchase a game, it will download it and install it. And it'll just say, I've done, like on your Vita, it'll say, you've installed this and this
as long as you're not playing something at that moment.
Well, because it does the update at like, around my house, it does it at like 11:30 at night.
Yeah, it'll do that.
It'll download it.
But not patches. That's the other thing.
And we'd also go out and seek all the patches out for it, if there are any.
Yeah. Sony, like what I want is just integrate it. Make it so that like, even when I'm not playing my PlayStation 4, I'm playing my PlayStation. Like I've never left that ecosystem.
Yeah.
Kind of the same way Apple and the
Apple
Store
people.
is.
Yeah.
Like even when you're not doing it, you're still iTunes. You're still iStore.
Yeah.
Even when I'm not, if I'm on my Vita, I want whatever information my Vita is collecting about me to be used by my PS4.
Yeah.
To be used by my Music Unlimited account.
When you come home, it syncs it, or it syncs it over the internet if you have the 3G version like you have, or the Wi-Fi version like I have.
Yeah. So like, if I want to be able to like, if I'm hearing a song in a game, to like earmark it and then be able to go to Music Unlimited and see if they have it, so I can listen to it. Like, oh, I really do like this.
I like the ending theme to this game. Or I like the background music in this level. Like that's one of the things that I
want to Shazam. Like Shazam. I want to Shazam what the end titles are for Walking Dead, because I actually had to go get a phone and hold it up because I was like, who sings this song?
Oh yeah, I don't remember. I don't think I went through the credits.
Yeah, so like I want that. So Sony, like make that happen.
Make stuff happen. We know you can do it.
This is your chance, and you are literally not all your.
Everybody
ponies.
is looking at you Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So don't disappoint.
Like I agree with Michael Pachter. I think the Xbox 360's specs haven't been nailed down, and I also don't think it's coming by the end of 2013. I think Sony's going first, and Microsoft's going, cool, we're going to see what they're doing, and then at E3, once we have this stuff more nailed down, we're going to talk to you then.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what the next box is going to have in it. I think with the rumored specs of both of them, I think they're going to be very PC-esque.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, and I agree with Michael Pachter that it's going to look like a super high-end PC a year and a half to 2 years ago. It's not going to blow you out of the water.
It's not going to be. It's not like you just dropped $1,800 on PC hardware and then overclocked the crap out of it.
Because as much as PC players like to say that they're the master race and that games always look better, yeah, they do, but
when they work, if they're not ported poorly. Well,
because you guys' market isn't that large.
Well, yeah, but I mean, a lot of these things are already developed on PCs, and if the PS3 and the 360 or the next box are basically high-end PCs from 2 years ago,
it'll be easier. Yeah,
it'll be easier for them to port that stuff, and we might actually get more games faster instead of having games like Uncharted come out once every 2 years. Is that about what it was? And they look great, but they took forever to develop. And the first one, or the second one and the first one have such a visual disparity because they were getting a handle of the hardware, and then they had the handle. If they're already working on PCs or
they already have that handle,
then they can just start pumping out really amazing looking games.
If Killzone 4 looks amazing, the first thing I'm going to think of when I get to those credits is, man, Killzone 5 is going to blow me away.
It might, or because it might not look that much better.
Killzone 2 and Killzone 3, Killzone 3 looks markedly better.
Yeah, it does. And it's the same
because more of it takes place at daylight, oddly enough.
Well, you know.
Anyway, so Sony, the world's watching you. I want you to do what you did with the PS2 launch, where everyone stopped and went,
holy crap.
Wow. Like, amazing. Like, look at that middle. Did you see that Metal Gear Solid 2 demo? Like, this is.
Yeah.
And then Dreamcast, like that put the nail in your largest competition.
I don't think they're going to kill the Xbox because there's a ton of people who love the hell out of their Xboxes, but they will definitely like
if Call of Duty PS4 comes out,
launches in November
with the system, and it looks amazing, and it has all the network integration that you'd want, and like you can play Call of Duty 4. Or not Call of Duty 4, whatever it'll be, Call of Duty PS4 against the PS3 people that have a similar title. You know, if there's that sort of compatibility built into it,
that would be really neat. Like
Xbox, maybe you can kill Xbox. Maybe your biggest competition from this generation, you can turn that over.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
And if anyone can do it, my faith is in the PlayStation brand. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, like we said, we don't know anything.
Yeah, we know nothing.
Or do we? We know what we think we know, and that's about it. Like we don't know anything.
Our noses will be glued to the screen with the rest of everyone else.
Yeah, I'll be home at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, going, okay, Sony, let's go.
Yeah.
Wow me.
And like we said before, this could be the start of the year of the PlayStation, where all they talk about is the PlayStation 4, and things like God of War Ascension, and like PlayStation 4 is coming out, but. Look at Last of Us.
Look at the last 6 months of games that are coming out for the PS3. Now imagine what the PS4 is going to do.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited. I know you are excited. You get to buy a new piece of hardware. And I'll have to buy you a pizza, I'm sure.
Yes, and yes, it was $400.
It was $400 flat. So if it's $450, I win.
Yes, $450. I have to buy you a pizza.
Good. Buy me pizza, bitch.
And I think 400 is a good price point, and I think Sony learned their lesson
with the PS3 coming out at what, 500?
500 for the low end.
Yeah,
and then they hardly sold any of them
because they sold all the $600 ones because people wanted the bigger hard drive.
Yeah, and then they lost a lot of goodwill, and a lot of Sony's lessons from this generation has been what happens when you lose gamers' goodwill.
Early. When you lose your gamers early.
Like, they spent $600 on this box, and now you don't have games for it, and now they're upset.
Yeah.
And so now they're going to buy the Xbox.
They're going to go spend another $400 and buy your Xbox.
Yeah.
Or take yours back and get whatever, and then spend the remainder on it.
Yeah. The less than 60,000 Wii U sold. The only cause for concern is that in May and June of 2007, which was the slowest months in PS3 history, they still sold more than 80,000 units.
Well, that's good. Like for Sony.
Yeah.
Not good for
not
Wii
for the Wii U.
It's only been out for 2 months.
Yeah. But so, I mean, Sony, wow us on Wednesday.
Yes.
Continue to wow us
in the future.
Wow us again at E3, and make sure by the time this thing comes out, we're only talking about PlayStation.
And I guess I better start saving money now.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to.
Save your pennies.
Yeah,
because you're going to need all of them and more.
Ken Kitaragi, you're going to want to work hard for it.
Real hard.
Real hard, Ken.
All right.
Don't forget to spay and neuter your Pokemon. We'll see you next week. Also, be sure to share, like, and if you like us, tell your friends. Have them watch us too.
Yes.
If you want to comment, feel free. We always comment back. Sayonara.